Hello everybody, I'm Joel, where I do reviews, help, funny, and much more. And this is my friend Joseph, which does gaming, and my friend Deegan from school.
What's up everybody, it's Joel back with another video, and before the video starts, I would like to warn you, this video will be close to an hour long, so if your phone battery is low, I do not recommend watching this video, or if you're in bed getting ready to go to sleep, don't watch this video. Watch it when your phone battery is either charging or like at 100%, and when you're not about to go to sleep, because you won't really understand the video if you don't watch it all the way through. This was the tram from Universal Studios, and it was actually quite fun. That was a lot of how they do the movies and stuff. We get to see all the stages. But enough talking, let's go ahead and get on to the tour itself. So be warned, this video is very long.
That's right, Jimmy Fallon. We will go over those safety rules. So ladies and gentlemen, real quick, let's get safety out of the way, then we can move on to the fun stuff. First, if you need guest assistance, or you have a medical emergency, or if you dropped something of value on the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, reach up, grab the red E-cord. That is the emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated. Yes, thank you, Frank. I'm doing that right now. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use the red E-cord above your head if you need assistance. Now, the studio is private property. If at any time during the tour you drop your phone, or perhaps you just cannot wait to go to the restroom, just pull the red E-cord, but please remain seated after that. Okay, Frank, I'm doing it. Please, no smoking of any kind during the tour. Also, be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, water effects. You'll want to have your cameras out for those great photos, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And finally, for your safety and for those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while on board the tram. All right. Okay, Frank, he also speaks Mandarin. All right, we're done with the safety stuff. Let's have some fun. We are going down what we call the Universal timeline. So you take a look to your right and your left, you'll see posters representing some of the 8,000 movies that we've made here at Universal Studios. We are our very own city. That's right, we have our own zip code. And if you look off to your right, we have our own fire station. Now take a close look at that fire station on your right. That is a real fire station, and that is one of the last real things which we're going to see on our tour. Everything else is going to be fake. It's going to look real when we get close up. It's just movie magic. Now, our city is a lot like your city. Like I said, we have our own zip code, our fire station, we have our own gas station, our own hospital. But our city is dedicated to making television and film. And one thing we need to make television and film that we have in our city that you might not have in yours is a sound stage. Well, what is a sound stage? On the outside, honestly, it doesn't look like much. It's just a large brown building, but on the inside, the possibilities are endless. And if you take a look off to your left, perfectly timed, is Soundstage 12. This is our largest soundstage on the lot. It was built in 1929 for the movie musical Broadway. That's right, but you can tell on the outside what's being filmed on the inside. That's right, that is the NBC hit singing competition, The Voice, hosted by Carson Daly, but also in Soundstage 12, some of the most iconic sets in movie history. Take a look at your screen, give you an idea of what Soundstage 12 has housed. Frankenstein's Lab, Dracula's Castle, Scarface's Mansion, hello little friend, that's right, and the Visitor Center, the 1993 from Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg. So we are entering now what we call the front lot. We have left the theme park behind, and the front lot is where we have 24 of our 28 sound stages. Like I said, from the outside, take a look to your left. Well, they don't look like much. It's a big round building, but if any of these large doors are open, take a peek inside, you'll see just how large these sound stages are. And once you fill them with your set, your lights, your actors, you can control the weather in there. You can control your special effects inside the soundstage. They are 98% soundproof. Right over here on your left, soundstage 16 and 17. Soundstage 16 is where Alfred Hitchcock shot the shower scene from his film Psycho. But right now, 16 and 17, we've taken the wall down in between and we've created one large soundstage Superstore, the NBC hit comedy. Now, Superstore takes place in Cloud 9. It's like a big box retail store, kind of like a Costco. The entire store is right there inside Soundstage 16 and 17, and that's so the director can face his camera any direction he wants and still be inside the store. Superstore takes up a third soundstage, Soundstage 21, right there on your left-hand side. Now, what's great about Soundstage 21, it has a large pit in the middle. It's underneath the floor. You can fill that full of water. You can shoot what looks like an exterior scene out by a pond or a lake, but it's really inside Soundstage 21. They use that pit to test Steven Spielberg's shark in Jaws. When they built the mechanical shark before they took it out to Martha's Vineyard, Soundstage 21 was where they tested it. Also, Ron Howard built Mission Control right there inside Soundstage 21.
Essential element of Apollo 13. After all, we're recreating an important moment in American history, a moment many Americans witnessed on television. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo mission still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control, since there was no room for the elaborate camera frames and tracks we needed for the shots. We had to build our own Mission Control.
Right there in Soundstage 21. If you look off to your right, this is Soundstage 44, where we shoot the interior shots of The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. And if you see another Ted sitting out in front of our bungalows off here to your left. Now, you might see some trailers hanging out in front of some of our sound stages. Now, why would we need trailers out in front of our sound stages? Well, that's because these sound stages are not built with offices or dressing rooms or places for wardrobe and makeup. So the trailers pull up outside, and that's where they have the wardrobe. That's where you can do makeup and hair. That's where the actors go to study their scripts or to take a break. Now let's move back to our left side. These are our production bungalows. They didn't always used to be bungalows. They used to be dressing rooms back in the days when we had contract actors. Now, it used to be that actors would sign on to work exclusively with a certain studio. So these were the dressing rooms for Doris Day, Rock Hudson, Tony Curtis, Jimmy Stewart, but nowadays they aren't dressing rooms, they are production bungalows. And if you look on bungalow 5195, you will see the silhouette of the incomparable Alfred Hitchcock, because that was his office when he was shooting Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Now, if you look to your left, you'll see the America's Got Talent posters. Those are sound stages 22 and 23. They are our newest sound stages, and you won't see trailers pulled up outside of those, because when they redesigned those sound stages, they built production office right there in building 5188. They built production offices out in front of those sound stages. So inside here is where they build. It's where they do their hair and makeup. This is where the dressing rooms are for the actors. It's where they do their production meetings right here outside of 22 and 23. Now, Soundstage 22 and 23 house America's Got Talent. Also, World of Dance, starring Jennifer Lopez and Derek Huff. Derek Huff was also involved in the very first production here, which was Hairspray Live. If you take a look at this big door on your left-hand side, out of Soundstage 23, that's where the cast of Hairspray Live would shoot an interior scene, and then in the commercial break, they would run right here to your right-hand side out into our Metro sets, short for Metropolitan sets. And that's how we were able to do Hairspray Live in just a commercial break, able to change from an interior scene to an exterior scene. So now we are leaving our front lot, and we are entering what we call our back lot. This is where the big, epic outdoor shots are done. If you need 100 extras, cars, down in a big city, this is where we shoot. We are now taking a turn down what we call Brownstone Street. Coming up on your left-hand side, it will look like the outside of a brownstone building in New York. Instead of flying all the way to New York just to get that exterior shot, you can just shoot it here, as Jim Carrey did in Bruce Almighty. Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Oh, you're done. B-E-A-U. That's right, Jim Carrey. I'll tell you what else. What is B-E-A? Beautiful is New York Street. Take a look around. We are pulling into our longest continuous set, and if you notice, the ends of the streets here in our metropolitan sets are all curved. Well, why is that? Well, the strongest tool that a filmmaker has is actually your imagination. So we only have to build what the camera's going to see. The on much further than it actually does. We don't have to actually build the rest of the city. Now, I could talk a lot more about New York, but my co-host knows a lot more about New York than I do. After all, that is where he shoots his show, The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon. Jim?
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighbor. What's got mugged over there? An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
That's right here on New York Street. Television shows, movies, and many commercials shot right here on New York Street. Now let's take a closer look at some of these buildings we have. As I said earlier, now these are just facades, right? This is just the front and the sides of the buildings. As we can see, you can look inside some of these buildings. Now, a few of them do have a steel infrastructure, which means they are practical sets. That means we can go inside and shoot some scenes from the inside, but most of these are just the outside. Take a close look at these bricks and this stone. They look very sturdy and very strong, but in fact, they're just foam rubber. That's right, held together with chicken wire, some plastic, and a paint job. And you've got New York City. Now, if you can take a look, you can look outside, you take a look up at the top of some of these buildings, you're going to notice that the windows at the top of these buildings are smaller than the windows at the bottom. As a matter of fact, the higher you go up in these buildings, the smaller the windows get. That's a little something we call forced perspective. Now, the human eye sees something smaller, it makes your brain think it's further away. So because the camera only has one lens, you just make the windows up high a little bit smaller, and it makes you think these buildings are taller than they actually are. Now, these buildings are 50 feet tall, which is pretty tall, but on camera, they look much taller. Also, if you can take a look on our curbs here, you're going to see these little squares, these little metal squares. It looks like you can just take the top right off, and you can actually. Now, what's underneath those metal squares? It's just an electrical outlet, just like at home where you plug in the lamp. That's all that is. And what that's for is when they do different time periods or different cities, our prop department can bring in different light posts or lamp posts, and they can plug them in right here. When they're done, they just unplug them, bring them back to the prop shop, and they're ready to turn this around. Now, we call it New York Street, but it can be any big city, right? It was 1890s London, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Right here was where Gary Oldman saw Winona Ryder for the first time. And actually, this road we're on, since they didn't have paved roads in 1890s London, they covered it with dirt for the horse and wagon to travel on. Now, you may think, oh, dirt, you just bring in dirt from an empty lot and cover this. No, there's actually movie dirt. Yeah, that's right. You think of everything in movies. There's actually a company that actually just brings in movie dirt. It's a special type of dirt. It's not quite as fine. It doesn't stain the costumes. It doesn't get into the cameras. And the best part about that is the same company will come and they'll pick up the dirt for you. So it's been 1890s London. It was 1899 New York, where a young Christian Bale danced right here in Newsies, which was right here on this corner, right here. It was also 1920s Boston for Live by Night, starring and directed by Ben Affleck. It was also 1960s Baltimore for Hairspray. It's also 1980s Chicago for the Blues Brothers. And let's see a little bit about how they created the car scene falling through the street.
The Pinto fell, and you saw it land and make this big hole in this.
Right there is part of our Metro set. You can see right there on your screen what we just dropped.
That was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, good idea.
When people ask me of all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive, and trained with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's Guest because just he walked into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him. We saw a light on in this one house, knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's Guest. I mean, literally that happened.
That's right, filmed right here on our back lot. Now, if you look off to your left, it looks like a little Broadway theater over here, right? Trying to represent New York. back there. You need a Broadway theater. Now, what's interesting about this section of street right here, that Broadway theater was used in Spider-Man 2, starring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. That's where MJ was doing her play right there. But also, that franchise revisited us in The Amazing Spider-Man starring Andrew Garfield. So right here, this section of street right here, two different Spider-Man movies, two different actors playing Spider-Man, but was shot right here on the same exact street. Now, Andrew Garfield is the only Spider-Man to actually do his own stunts. He was wired up between these buildings right here and flew right here between these buildings, but you can really do anything these days with a little CGI, which is computer-generated imagery. And to show you a little bit more about CGI here at Universal Studios, take a look at your screen. The TV show, The Colony, they used that wall where they were climbing over, where the aliens were over the top, and they were climbing over from one section to the other, shot right there on our back lot. Take a look at all these tents. You can take a little peek inside. What you're seeing here is preparations for our Hollywood Horror Nights happening out here, coming very soon. You'll see inside all these tents, there's mirrors and wardrobe. This is where they're all getting ready to setting up the base. So I hope you guys will come back and experience some of our Hollywood Horror Nights. You can take a look back as we leave our metro sets there, a little place we call London Square, and you need to shoot something, and it ends up being in Europe, somewhere in London, or we did shoot some promos here for the royal wedding. They were shot right back here on London Square. Now, when we did the redesign for all of these buildings to make them HD ready, when everything was going to HD and they had to look better, the creative designer on that was none other than Steven Spielberg. We have a great relationship with here. He's just one of the many award-winning directors. Here's a little bit about what Universal has worked on with Steven Spielberg.
16 years old. I began hanging out at Universal during my summers. We went to college nearby. Came on the lot. I became a director. Universal sort of is my birthplace. This is the place I consider my first home.
Just going to pause that real quick. I want to make sure everybody takes a look off to your right. Now, this is live production. This is filming happening right now. You see a sign that says hot set. And hot set means it's happening right now. And that just means the set is ready. All the pre-production has been done. This is all great stuff. Take a look right here. This is kind of behind the scenes here that we're seeing. A hot set means the pre-production has been done. They're just waiting Lawrence, Texas. Now, I gotta let everybody know, we are coming up on approximately the halfway mark of our tour. Just want to remind everybody to please stay seated. And if you have an emergency, yes, Frank, I got it. Tell him to sit down. Make sure everybody just stay seated. You can pull that red emergency cord if you need assistance. And I will come back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Well, this is kind of exciting. We're going into Soundstage 50. Well, we don't normally get to go into Soundstage 50. It is a very a popular location here on the back lot. The reason it's so popular is because it is a subway set. So you'll see when we go in there, it looks like you're at a subway station. Now imagine if your script has a subway scene in it, how hard it would be to stop the subway in New York, London, and San Francisco, wherever you are. So we built one right here, and recently the show Bones, starring David Boreanaz, actually used it, and this is what it looked like here on television after they've edited together all the clips. Take a look at your screen. This is our subway set.
He looks very upset.
When I talked to him, he said the guy died in his arms.
That's with the FBI?
Yeah, hear about the human remains.
That's it. Right over there.
Coming in right there. Hey, car 4, car 3, you're way back there, but I see you. I see you. All right, now this also is a hot set. We do have a production in here right now. They're not filming today. But if you take a look around, you can see how they have set the set, decorated a little bit to be wherever they wanted it to be. Obviously, this production is taking place here in San Francisco, so a lot of our sets are built a bit on the generic side so production can come in and they can make... welcome to Southern California. That's just a little bit of a shimmer. As I was saying, when they build... Hang on, ladies and gentlemen, it's more than a shimmer. Please just remain seated, hold on to your belongings. Earthquake effect, and this is what it looked like on Bones.
What's going on?
Oh, that water main's always breaking. That's right, if you look off to your left, this is what we call Denver Street. Now right down on the end of Denver Street where they shoot Hallmark's Home and Family. Right down there, Monday through Friday. And now Denver Street is one of our most classic sets. A lot of famous westerns shot right down there. Now, one thing fun, if you take a look, you may notice some of the doors on some of these sets are all different sizes. Now, some of the doors are smaller down on Denver Street. That's because if we have a cowboy who's not quite as tall as you'd expect him to be, well, You just make the door a little bit smaller and shoot him in front of the door, and again, it makes us think the cowboy's a lot bigger than he is. Or you have a damsel in distress, and you need to make her look a little bit smaller, a little more vulnerable. You just put her in front of a much larger door, again, in movie magic, which they still do today. If you have a shorter actor walking with a taller actor, you want to get them in the same shot, which is called a two-shot. A lot of times one actor will walk on a ramp, or they'll dig a ditch for an actor to walk into. It happens all the time. Again, we only have to shoot what is being seen. Anything outside the camera, we can create ourselves. Your imagination will fill in the rest. Also, a lot of these westerns, there's a good barroom brawl. If you see your hero getting thrown up against a brick wall, or a chair being smashed over his back, or thrown through a window, well, that brick wall was just foam rubber. That chair was made of very lightweight balsa wood, and getting thrown through a window. Now that glass is something we call candy glass. It's made partly of sugar, actually, and when it shatters, it's very safe. There's no sharp edges, and well, you get a bit of a snack afterwards on the ground. And he's getting punched in the face. That is very expertly choreographed fight, and sometimes that's not even the hero you're seeing, right? That's what you probably heard is his stunt double. Here's a little example of what some of those barroom brawls look like down here on Denver Street.
Maybe you're just gonna stir things up here. There I am.
Dare you hit that man?
Mine hit the ground first.
Mine was taller.
All right. After all that fighting, let's take a little break here. Let's head off to the little seaside town of Amity Island. You may have heard recently Amity was, well, they were terrorized by a shark, but there's nothing to worry about now, ladies and gentlemen. I can assure you the shark has been caught, and you can see it right there on your right-hand side. Everything is safe.
Why did I
That
fall
in the
this
water
side?
over there. That's
Why am I on this side?
all right. Well, not to panic. There's no one in the water. The shark can just swim around. All the divers have exited the water, so no. Well, except for that diver. You.
Hold on to your phone.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry we had to see that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna have to call into dispatch because there's still a shark in the water. We'll find a. Maybe we can find a safe place to park here. Oh, this seems safe right behind these gasoline tanks. Feels like a safe place to park. Yeah, the shark has taken the pier, yeah. All right, we'll just remain seated. Everybody please remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram. Some of you jumped out of your seats. I really had no idea that was going to happen. Really, I would have warned you. I really would have. Hey, car 4 and car 3, see? I'm a real person. I'm up here. I'm not just right here. I'm up here. That's right. Hope you're having a good time. Take a look back, everybody. I want to show you something. The shark is now moving backwards. The shark is doing something we call in the film industry going back to one. That means the shark is going back to its first position. As you know, in TV and film, we shoot scenes multiple times until we get it just right. And that's what's called going back to one, so we can shoot again. Now our shark here is very reliable. He does that all day, every day, which was very much unlike the shark that Steven Spielberg used out in Martha's Vineyard. Now I told you, Steven Spielberg tested his mechanical shark in Soundstage 21. Now that was fresh water that they tested it in. When they took it out to Martha's Vineyard and put it in the salt water, well, it didn't react very well. I'll let Steven Spielberg tell you a little bit more about that.
That's much more
For every quarter of time, and we're always saying, the shark is not working. The shark is. We just waited around. We just
We call it Colonial Street, but you may recognize it as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives, which enjoyed 8 very successful seasons here, starring Terry Hatcher, Eva Longoria, Marsha Cross, and the Emmy Award winner Felicity Huffman. Now you may say, well, some of these houses look slightly different than they did on Desperate Housewives. Well, that's because these houses are all just facade. They're just the fronts and the sides. There is nothing inside most of these houses, so when they want to redesign these for other productions coming in, it's quite easy. A different paint job. They can even move the porch or the columns, make it look very different for TV, so it doesn't look like every production is shot right there on Wisteria Lane. Now, Wisteria Lane is called so because of all the wisteria that grew here, except Desperate Housewives was set in a fictional town on the East Coast, where wisteria actually grows. Well, wisteria doesn't grow here in Southern California, so it took our set designers and our set decorators to bring in all the fake wisteria and decorate this street. Now that you see what it looks like in person, here's what it looked like on ABC's Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighborhood.
Proximity to our big city sets, to our metro sets, our small town sets. We can shoot in the big city of New York in the morning, and then after lunch come out and shoot in the middle of nowhere. Instead of dragging all of our equipment out to the forest and out to the wilderness, we just shoot right here on Wilderness Road. But every now and then we get a script that comes to us where the set needs a little more imagination. Maybe it's not a place on Earth at all. Maybe it's an entirely made-up place. Maybe it's out of a kid's book. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that kid's book is Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's right, if you look off to your right, these are a couple of the sets from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This was Whoville, and the Ron Howard directed picture starring Jim Carrey. Now that was one of our largest productions ever here at Universal. You remember how big those sound stages were that we passed? This one movie took up 11 sound stages, one of which was just for makeup alone. They used over 2 million linear feet of foam and over 2,000 candy canes. They had enough fake snow to fill 9 football fields. Now in the movie, the Who's had a very difficult neighbor in the Grinch, but here on the back lot, they have a much nicer neighbor. We have put them right next to a man who, well, he owns his own business. He's an entrepreneur. That's right, Norman Bates. You are now looking at 2 of the most iconic sets still standing in Hollywood today. The Bates Motel and the Psycho House from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Now from the bottom of the hill, the Psycho House looks like a full-scale house, but when we get closer to it, take a closer look, you'll see that it is built on what's called a 3/4 scale. Again, using forced perspective. And you'll take a close look right here at our Psycho House and see that it's only a facade. We are now leaving a psychological thriller with a minimal set, and we are entering an extraterrestrial thriller with one of the largest sets ever built for a feature film. That's right, it is the airplane crash site from War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Cruise. This is an actual Boeing 747. That's right, it was bought from the airplane graveyard in the Mojave Desert. Was bought for $60,000. But to ship it from the Mojave Desert here to our back lot, that cost $200,000. almost 3 times the price of the plane itself. So I guess the lesson there is, ladies and gentlemen, always check the shipping and handling before making a purchase. I'll let Rick Carter and Steven Spielberg tell you a little bit more about this amazing set.
The airplane crash site set is perfect examples of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven had.
When you first began to sit down to talk about the War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big movie? Because it's just showing something to go see.
You're doing good. Thank you. Listen to me. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now close. Robbie, get in. Get in. Yeah, Robbie, get in. A plane just crashed in our neighborhood. Get out of here. Now that set is not just used for television and film and music videos. There's actually a practical use to that set. Search and rescue team will come out and do training here specifically with their search dogs. This right here, our War of the World set, is where they train a lot of their search and rescue dogs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about 10 minutes away from the end of our tour. Just want to remind everybody to please remain seated if there is an emergency. Yes, thank you, Frank. That's the favorite clip I have right here. You're going to see it more than once. The emergency cord running along the center of the ceiling of the tram. You can stand up, please. Pull that cord if there is an emergency. I'll come back to assist you soon as it is safe to do so. Let's take a look on our right-hand side. Just past this cabin here, you're going to see a big blue backdrop. Now, when that was built in 1987, it was the largest freestanding backdrop in the world, and underneath that is a large empty basin which we can fill with 3.5 million gallons of water, and that can serve as the Atlantic Ocean or even the Hudson River, as Clint Eastwood used it in his film Sully, starring Tom Hanks.
Evacuate.
That's right, that is our Falls Lake. So if you take a look to your right at Falls Lake and back at the screen, that is a full-size airplane. That water is real, the plane is real, the actors are real. The only thing taking that shot is the background, and we can do that because of our big blue backdrop. Right there, we also had Jim Carrey has visited Falls Lake a couple of times. Morgan Freeman taught him how to walk on water.
Last thing I went through was The Mummy.
And also in the Truman Show.
So what's
it was
this?
right here. I'm sorry, it seems like someone's trying to break into my system. This is, give me just a second here, folks. Let me see who this is. Hello? Hello, is someone there? Yes? Hello?
It just got here. Alright, I got it. Well, listen, hello, beautiful people. Particularly you right there missing the third row. How you doing? You good? My name is Roman Pierce.
Hi, my name is Ty.
Pleased to meet you.
Okay.
My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you in Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy. It's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there is made by my man Ted. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
I had one job to do, only one. Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep shopping finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
So like I was saying, the third row,
All right, guys. Let's do what they say. Let's take this real serious. If you have any lights on your camera or on your phone, please turn off the flash, turn off the lights now. Please remain seated. I'm sure they have a safe location for us to go to. Please keep your belongings close and your loved ones closer. Sounds like we're getting into some kind of party here. have any questions, want to come by and just say hello, high five, take a picture, whatever it is. So on behalf of John, myself, everybody here at NBC Universal, enjoy your behind the scenes Hollywood experience. Now I'll give you a little insider tip. If you download the Universal Studios app on your smartphone, it will give you up-to-the-minute show times or wait times. You can confirm that our park is open tonight till 10 o'clock. That's right. So enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. And as they say in the movie business, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. But as they say in the music industry, time to rock and roll. Please place your 3D glasses in these blue bins. That is your 3D glasses, not your sunglasses.
If you guys enjoyed, if the video was too long for you, or if your phone died in the process, I'm very sorry. But if you did enjoy the video, you can like it, and if you like the channel, you should subscribe and turn notifications and comment and share to friends, family, whoever you like. So yeah, bye for now.